When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to race number 15 of Door Racing League here on Maconi Entertainment. We are racing here tonight at Michigan International Speedway. This jam-packed 2-mile speedway is going to have some thrilling door-to-door action, just like the league name has. My name is Jeremy Briggs. Alongside me is Sky Shrek, and working our producer tonight is Christian Hill. Excited to have you guys here tonight. This is going to be an exciting racing, extremely fast speeds going into turns 1 and 2. What do you guys expect here tonight, Sky?
Oh, I think it's going to be really fast tonight. Michigan is always one of the fastest tracks on the Cup Series calendar. These cars used to be able to get upwards of like 210 around here. This place has always been quick, and it's been known for speed and for great racing. Michigan is a big racetrack, 2 miles in length, a lot of banking in the corners, and you saw it here in the real-life race today. It can be a lot of fun.
Absolutely can be a lot of fun. We'll have to see if the fuel mileage thing comes into play tonight. They had some great green flag racing last week. We'll see if we can do it again this week here at Michigan International Speedway. And speaking of being here, last week we were at Nashville Super Speedway looking at our schedule. This week, June 8th, here at Michigan International Speedway. Looking forward to next week. In the substitution of Mexico City is going to be Auto Club here with Door to Door. Then we'll have Pocono and Atlanta the next coming weeks as we continue to follow the real-life NASCAR Cup schedule.
Yeah, we've had a great season of racing so far here in the Door to Door Racing League, and that will continue. We get a look at your points right there. Trevor Baxter is the clear dominant driver. 7 wins on the season. Nobody else has won more than 1 race. Michael Reeves, Daniel Best, Hugh Brown, William Lark, Joshua Switzer, Alan Duggar, and Matt Frady all have that 1 win. You've got some drivers that are pretty safe above the playoff cut line. Guys like Danny Carpenter, Stephen Bird, Joshua Hyatt, Thomas Freeman, Nathaniel Pollard are all looking pretty good. But further back, you got some drivers that kind of on that cut line. James Nesta only has 10 points separating him and Joshua Sanchez. And then you've got Bradley Knopsnyder, Brian Wasserman, and Roland Collette all trying to move their way in here and get into the playoffs.
One of those drivers that punched her ticket last week, Hugh Brown, was the big winner at Nashville. We'll see how he does this week in that UPS machine. Excited to be here as qualifying is underway. Just under 2 minutes left to go there. We're excited to have everybody here on the Maconi Entertainment networks, wherever you guys may be watching from here tonight. Excited to be here. This is going to be, like I said, another great race. And these next gens earlier, like you said, in real life, were really just hauling the mail, and they just played out some really great racing and a big hit for a couple drivers. That, man, that wall just sneaks up to you. We'll have to see how that plays out with that dirty air. These close proximity racing on these restarts is going to play a key into a lot of tonight.
Oh, for sure. That's just kind of how this place is. When you go so fast, the hits can be even harder than they are at a normal track. It can be pretty easy to damage your car or even wreck it here. I think we've seen some attrition here in some of these door-to-door racing league races, so a lot of these drivers are gonna want to keep it clean. Gonna hope to see a pretty clean race tonight. We got 130 laps coming up for you over the next few hours. These drivers are gonna want to run a lot of that under green. Pit road speed will be 55 miles an hour as you're watching Trevor Baxter make his qualifying lap. 0 faster pairs, 1 green, white checkered, and it is open setup. I'm going to see where Trevor Baxter finishes on this quality lap. He will be on pole for tonight's race, looking to win his 8th of the season.
And speaking of tonight, stages will be lap 30 and lap 60 here for stages 1 and 2 with 4 sets of tires in the pits. And like you said, Trevor Baxter, one of the most dominant drivers here this season. Wasn't here last week. We'll have to see what he does this week. Man, he just continues to dominate. And as we are speaking of that, looks like qualifying has just wrapped up. We'll get ready to look at this. I believe it's going to be 17 car field, as I believe one driver would be actually race control. So we'll have to take a look at that once we get everything set and stone. So we get ready to look at it. Here we go. Like we said, Trevor Baxter on the pole in that number 10 machine, starting, number 12. Starting second is the number 5 of Daniel Best. In the third starting position, you've got the number 28 of Danny Carpenter. And in the fourth starting position, you got the number 11 of William Hewitt. Running out our top 5, the 00 of Michael Reeves. The 6th starting spot belongs to number 2 of Joshua Hyatt. The 7th starting position is the number 29 of James Nesta, one of those drivers around that cutoff line. In the 8th starting position, you got the number 26 of Stephen Bird. In the 9th starting position, you got the number 10 of William Lark. And the 10th starting position, you got the number 17 of Thomas Freeman.
Starting in 11th tonight will be Brian Wasserman in that 57 car. He'll have Corey Adkins on his outside in the 24. 13th is going to be Thomas Hegland in the 99. Bradley Knopsnyder, your last driver to set a quality time in P14. P15's our race control. P16 will be Gus Odero in that 76 car. And your last row on the field, neither of them taking qualifying times, will be Hugh Brown in the 7 and Ronald Judd in the 64.
It's interesting to see last week's winner, the number 7, not taking time there, but we'll have to keep an eye on that and see if they can march his way through the field. The field, speaking of, is on the grid, just waiting for a couple of drivers to grid up here as they make their final setup changes. Like we said, open setups, 75% fuel, I believe, is what they have on board. So drivers can make adjustments throughout the race. They can make adjustments real quick right now before the pace car roll is off the grid. And man, that's one thing I've really enjoyed about this league is the open setups. It just looks just like the fixed setups. And man, these drivers do put on a good show.
They do. We've had some pretty good races here over the last few weeks that we have been broadcasting it on Maconi Entertainment. We're going to be looking for another good one here tonight. Car's going to roll off the grid now. It'll be Trevor Baxter leading this pack of cars. They'll have Daniel Best right behind him in second. A lot of great cars out here in the field. A lot of drivers who have won races this season.
As the field is now on the track, everybody is in the pacing formation down the backstretch, preparing to take the green flag. This time, as the pace car leads them out front with the pace car lights are off, Trevor Baxter, Daniel Best, Danny Carpenter, William Hewitt, and Michael Reeves will be the 5 cars leading the field to the green. Joshua Hyatt is in that 6th starting position, then around out row number 3. Man, I'm super excited. We had some great racing earlier in the real life. So we take a quick look at our track temperature. Right now, 90 degrees, overcast skies, 76 degrees for air temperature. So track temperature not too bad right now. We'll keep an eye on that through the rest of the evening. Right now, it is currently June 8th at 2:13 in the sim time. Just a 5-mile-an-hour breeze. Nothing too crazy in that part as the pace car makes that hard left-hand turn. Trevor Baxter now sets his eyes on the flagman coming here to the Geico restart zone in the sim. We'll be green for 130. We'll be green now as we get set for this 130 lap event here for Door to Door Racing League on Maconi Entertainment. '17-car field roars down the backstretch. Everybody gets through turns 1 and 2, clean and green so far. Top 4 cars right now, single file down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4.
Tight battle back there, both for second and for fifth. We're going to stay side by side out of the corner between Hyatt and Reeves for that fifth spot. Hyatt gets the better run there on the top line. He'll hold that 0-0 off. We've got some cars kind of teasing lane switches here, thinking about making moves. Not a lot of drivers actually doing it. Big loose moment there for the 29 of James Nesta, almost into the back of Michael Reeves in the 0-0, but he keeps it straight, keeps it behind that sixth place car. He'll stay running in seventh. He'll have to regroup to try to retry that move.
Whew. Really close here early on, coming around to complete lap number 2 and start lap number 3 of this 130 lap event. Everybody seems to be getting ready to settle in here. This first stage, like we said, is 30 laps. We'll have to see which driver can find themselves in good position here at the end of this first stage. I'm not sure they're going to have to pit. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I believe they should be good on fuel, but I'm not sure with that 75% fuel rate as you're riding on board here with William Hewitt.
Pretty big lunge into the corner there towards Daniel Best in front of him in that 5 car. Backed it out, didn't get into the rear of that car. We'll see if he gets the run off the corner. He's going to have draft here, which is going to help him. And it'll kind of negate the fact that he did not get the greatest run out of 4. He's going to go right up to the wall on entry to turn 1, running a slightly higher line, hoping that that'll help him out the corner and get him a little more speed here down the back straightaway. Looks like it has.
Like we had spoke early on in the broadcast, keeping that nose in that clean air is going to be key all night long. Going to keep the downforce on those front tires to help that turn. You'll get really tight on exit and you'll just chatter and lose a ton of speed, and if not, hit the wall. And that's one thing you don't want to do here early on. So you can see drivers trying to do different lines, but sometimes that mirror driving is a great defense.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out and how the lines develop as we get further into this race. Right now on lap 5, a lot of cars seeming to like about 1 lane off the bottom there through 1 and 2. That's what the top 3 were running that last time around. Hewitt tends to go a little higher. You've seen something pretty similar here through 3 and 4. A lot of cars 1 lane up. That's the 4th place car, Danny Carpenter, really taking a big bite out of that inside line, trying to get something going down there, seeing if that'll help him speed-wise, but it will give him a worse run off the corner. It's going to hurt his fight. We're going to try to go side by side down here into 1. Best thought about a move, but he wasn't close enough to get it done. Hewitt continuing to run a lot higher in the corner. It's letting Carpenter close in. And while Hewitt usually gets the better run down the back straightaway, they actually came out pretty even that time, and that'll put Danny Carpenter a lot closer to try to get up on the podium.
Hewitt almost running just a tick, just a little bit high right now, I think, in this part of the run. But like you said, carrying a lot of speed at the end of the straightaways is keeping him close. We'll see how this plays on longer in the run. You know, obviously not hurting his tires by not being in all that dirty air, but having to do a lot of gaining down the straightaways, as he has a really good turns 1 and 2, closing in on those leaders right now as Trevor Baxter, Daniel Best not getting too far away right now.
No, we've had a pretty close battle up here in these top 7 or so positions. No one has really been able to separate up here in this lead group. In fact, everybody from 1st on back to 12th is running within about 2.5, 3 seconds right now. Really close group here, 7 laps into this run. Little bit of a bump there into the corner for Trevor Baxter. Daniel Best was all over the back of that car, pushing him down into T1. Nothing happening there. Best will back out. He'll stay 2nd as the battle goes for 4th. James Nesta, good run on the outside out of that corner. He'll clear Danny Carpenter in the 28 car as we look down into 3.
Coming around to complete lap number 8. Right now it was a good pass there, like you said, by James Nesta to get around the Carpenter machine as he puts himself in 4th. Now setting his eyes right there on that William Hewitt machine. We'll have to see how his march forward goes, as we are now, you know, these drivers are, the temperatures are up on these tires, and these drivers are going to start feeling those. Oh, really close there for 2nd. Oh, contact again there for 2nd. William Hewitt was trying to get to the outside of Daniel Best, and Best was trying his hardest to cover that position.
I had thought about going 3 wide back there for P6. Kind of got blocked off by Carpenter. Hyatt now under threat from Michael Reeves, who's going to hold that spot on the top and who is going to push this 28 car of Danny Carpenter down the straightaway here to try and close in on Nesta in that 29. Pretty tight battles all through the top 6 here. It's a lot of great racing early on in this thing. We're only 10 laps in, but these drivers have stayed close. You got a car in the wall up ahead of this pack. Looks like that might have been either James Nesta or Danny Carpenter, right around 4th or 5th in this pack. I'm not seeing any damage on any of those cars, so they should still be fine.
Yeah, tight racing equals tight quarters on exit. Daniel Best giving Trevor Baxter a mere full, not letting him get away. Right now, though, the 00 Michael Reeves looks to the inside of the number 28 of Danny Carpenter. We'll have to see how that bottom holds, because we know that top has the momentum. Oh, the 00 gets loose, holds it, almost spun out there on that seam.
He's going to lose a lot of time there, and that might hurt his ability to stay in the draft with these top 6 cars. He drops almost half a second off Joshua Hyatt in that 2 going down in the corner. We're almost 3 wide up there for 3rd between Hewitt, Carpenter, and Nesta. Got that sorted out a little, but we'll stay side by side as 28 of Danny Carpenter is all the way down on the bottom exiting turns 4. They can't get anything going with it there. So many different lines being tried by these drivers from 3rd to 5th, and we're going to get some contact here between Carpenter and Hewitt. They both make it off the wall safe, but that was sketchy between those 2.
Very close. Definitely made contact there, but one driver that's kind of enjoying this on his rearview mirror is Trevor Baxter, as they continue to battle side by side and touch bumpers. But as you can see, William Hewitt's going to get to the back bumper of Daniel Best to give him a shot into the back of Trevor Baxter. Daniel Best doesn't make the move just yet. Oh, man, that was really aggressive right there.
Some aggressive racing over the last few laps here for a couple of these drivers up towards the front of the field as they try to make these moves. We're weaving in and out down the straightaway, kind of testing the waters of something going down into turn 3, but the only driver who's really going to jump at the chance is Danny Carpenter, running a much lower line, but one that ultimately does not make any progress on the 29 of James Nesta back there in 4th. Daniel Best doesn't seem to be trying too hard to make the move. He's certainly had some opportunities to jump it up to the inside of that 12 car, try to get a pass made, but for now he seems content to bide his time. This is going on back in 3rd, and another bit of contact between those 2. Hewitt hard into the outside wall, gets doored by the 29 of Nesta. He'll drop that car down to 6th, and it looks like that 11 is going to have some damage.
William Hewitt once again. Oh, man, just really loose to the center right there. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see if the damage is severe enough to slow him down, as obviously did slow him down the backstretch, killed his momentum. We'll keep an eye on it here through turns 1 and 2 this time. Man, just trying to ride that outside line, just getting stuffed in the wall. And oh, he's gonna almost spin it out right here. He will, William Hewitt spins it around in turns 1 and 2.
Caution is out! Oh, I am not sure how we made it through that one. All right, that was very nearly a big one.
Wow. Man, I saw him going back on the track, and Lark almost destroyed Hewitt. We'll definitely get a look at the replay here very shortly. And man, William Hewitt either got some damage or has some very upset tires.
Yeah, we're gonna get a replay there from the onboard of William Hewitt. Someone in that accident there, because that was crazy. what we just saw. This is a little further back. This is the car behind William Hewitt. Oh my goodness, that was close.
For 2 of them. Not even just that car. I believe you're riding on with what is that, the 29? That's a 00 right there, I believe. 10. Oh, it's a 10. I got it. It is William Lark. And now we're right on board here with Stephen Bird. Take a look at his perspective. That was close as well. Look at this guy.
Oh man, you can barely even see him there with all the smoke. That is crazy that we didn't get a multi-car accident there.
And you definitely got to pray to the netcode iRacing gods right there for being extremely precise in a moment of time needed, because sometimes you could be 20 feet away from somebody and they're making contact. So the fact that they were just, it almost feels like a paper width apart. iRacing gods were on their side right there. Man, what a close moment. That'll definitely be a moment in the race to take a look back on later in the evening, because to keep William Lark and Stephen Bird still in this race running 6th and 7th, that was extremely close for them. And one driver that could definitely take a deep breath right there is William Hewitt, because that was extremely close for him. He definitely needs 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, he's going to need 4 fresh tires on that car there, because he has certainly burned them off there from that big spin. Seeing a couple cars on pit road here further back in the field. Looks like Corey Adkins, Michael Reeves, Gus Otero all coming down for service here on lap 17, and they're getting it back out. Looks like fuel only for at least a couple of those cars.
Yeah, William Hewitt's been in his pit stall for a while, probably getting, I would assume, some damage fixed from that wall contact that has got him out of control there in a very close incident. Looks like 13th, 14th, 15th all pitted as well. Like you said, so from 1st to 12th, those drivers stayed out. Oh, no, looks like pit road is open this time.
We will see. That 12 of Trevor Baxter is going to kind of fake the pit entry there. And it doesn't look like anyone further else is going to take pit road this time. We're all going to stay out. No incident. Lights on the pace car will go off, so we will go back green this time. It'll be the same top 2 that we've been running with the whole race. Trevor Baxter and Daniel Best 1 and 2, but James Nesta up to 3rd on that inside.
James Nesta, like you said, finding himself right here on the podium. Ronald Judd, one of our biggest moves here, as he continues to fight forward. We'll have to keep an eye on everybody here tonight, as we are now on lap 18 of 130. Stage 1 will be completed at lap 30. So we got about 11 laps or so left in this stage. We'll have to see if Trevor Baxter has just been saving his stuff, being patient, trying to burn it up, or if Daniel Best has maybe got something for him this race. Like we said earlier in the broadcast, Trevor Baxter, one of the only drivers, the only driver I believe with multiple wins this season with 7. Let's keep an eye on him all night long, always towards the front. We'll see if Daniel Best, though, like we said, been on his back bumper, can make a charge around him, because he was on his back bumper that stint for pretty much the whole way. So not sure if, like we said, Trevor was saving. But here we go. Pace car is off. Going to come to the restart zone this time. Let's see when Trevor fires. He's going to restart right now, all the way at the end. Green flag in the air. We're back underway.
That was a great jump there for Baxter. He's all the way clear here. By the time we start to get down into turn 1, he's opened up a bigger gap to Daniel Best just on that restart than he had in pretty much the entirety of that first run. We're still racing pretty tight back through the field. We're going to come 3 wide off the corner here further back. You got that target machine in the middle. We're going to go 4 wide down here. Contact between a few of these cars. Ronald Judd through the grass.
Let me save it.
Oh my goodness. My bad. That is not Ronald Judd. I am mistaken, and that is Gus Otero, 1 spot ahead of him. Either way, that is an amazing save.
Back went the 30 car of Gus. It's being labeled as a 30 car on our screens, and it's 76 in timing and scoring as we look at the number 28 right now. Danny Carpenter side by side here with William Lark for 3rd.
He's going to have James Nesta riding that top line too, trying to follow Lark through. Been a great second run for this 10 car. He's gained some spots here in the early going after this restart. And the top seems to be working really well for James Nesta. He'll get clear of that 28 car once again. Danny Carpenter back to 5th in line, and now that train of Lark and Nesta getting increasingly further up the field. They'll look to the outside at Daniel Best for P2, working out of turn 2. In the fence, both of them.
In the wall, yeah, like you said right there, for the number 10 of William Lark. Another close call for William Lark as he's battling side by side right here for second, as we're right on board with Danny Carpenter, who is also side by side for 4th and 5th with Nesta. He's going to just barely clear. Oh, he's going to get into the wall as well. Just in front of him is Daniel Best. Woo! This is some tight racing here for 2nd, 4th. I'm back.
Carpenter's going to actually get the run there around the inside because both of them hit the wall, and he just kind of hit the wall less there, so it ends up working out for him. Best is going to be able to fight back on that top line, though, and that seems to be preferred right now in side-by-side battles. A little bit more speed up there high, and Best will get cleared by the time they exit the corner. Nesta is also going to look a little further up the track on Danny Carpenter, try to get a little bit of a run to help close that gap.
Right now, this is some great racing. We got 3 wide there, just behind these guys that are just single file going to turn. Extremely tight racing throughout the whole pack. A little bit of overcast clouds right now, but we'll have to see how it transpires. Track temperature only 98 degrees, but I'd expect it to continue to rise. And man, with the way we're racing right now, these drivers might be coming into some more handling issues, the way these car drivers are just abusing these tires with these extremely close moves. And whew, Trevor Baxter still out front.
Yeah, and using the high line certainly going to warm up tires. We got a car going way around back there, further back in the field. That is the 2 car of Joshua Hyatt. I wonder if he got a pit road penalty there, because he came really close to entering the pits.
On the wall
too hot.
Too. I believe the 29 of Nesta just got in the wall.
Yeah, Nesta and Daniel Best have both lost about 5 spots there while we were trying to figure out what happened a little further back in the field. We'll see. I'm going to check out what happened. These two, they got into the wall pretty hard, and caution is out. It is for James Nesta.
All right, we've got a lot to digest here. As James Nesta, Daniel Best, one of the 2 of the drivers are up towards the front here. Something happened between them that put them more towards the back, and then something happened for James Nesta. All right, so we take a look at Nesta's wreck here to begin with. Looks like contact right there between him and it's scored, looking as the number 30, but it's actually scored as a 76 of Gus Ortero there. And man, a good night gone bad, just a few laps away from the stage break.
Yeah, his engine is gone too. That car is going to be done for the night.
Damage, wow.
We've got another accident there involving Nesta that happened, I'd say, about a lap earlier with him and Daniel Best. We'll see this again. Slides up the road, gets that contact from Otero. There he goes.
I'm trying to figure out how he got engine damage right here. I don't know if it was like a shift. Okay, sounds like he shifted it. Yep, definitely went the wrong direction on that shift, or too far. And so it looks like the contact downshifted her of some sort, and then the rear tire is locked up from the money shift, blew her up. And that is going to do it for Nesta. Looking further back to the Hyatt incident, contact there. He's going to almost go down pit road right there. Try to come back up on track. Does a very good job of getting it woed up nice and easy through this grass.
That could have been a lot worse for that 2 car as well there, going through that accident. Take it back to live. Now, there was one going down into turn 2. I think it was the lap before the Nesta crash where Best and him got both into the wall. Best has actually had to come down pit road here, put some tires on it, maybe fix a little bit of damage as well as a result of that.
That's exactly it, Sky. Just a lot to digest there. A lot happened very quick at the same time. Producer is working overtime right now trying to figure out which incident is which one to cover. Looks like we did have a couple cars come down under this quick caution before the stage break. Baxter being one of them.
Yeah, quite a few cars came down there. It is going to be Baxter coming down. I'm not sure if he actually stopped in the pit box at all. He's showing 0 seconds in the pit box on my timing and scoring, and that is what he did. So I think Baxter missed his pit box. He's going to come back down this lap.
Yep.
And then it'll be Daniel Best, Thomas Freeman, William Hewitt, who all pit there. Hewitt fixing a little bit of damage on that 11 car. Pace lights are going to be off. We'll go back side by side, and we'll go back rolling on lap 28. 3 to go to the stage.
And it is official there that Nesta is retired. Oh, it looks like Baxter just drove through the pits again.
He might just want to be at the back. I'm not sure what the strategy is there, considering he could get some stage points if he was not at the back. But he does seem to want to be at the back.
Maybe trying to make it interesting for himself.
Maybe. I mean, he's won, what, half the races this year?
Pretty much. And missed a few. Or missed one at least that I know of. Like you said, though, still almost winning half the races this season. As you can see, Baxter has a number 10 on the side of his car, but he is scored as a number 12. The number 10 right now is William Lark. To his outside is the number 28 of Danny Carpenter, 24 Corey Atkins, 99 of Thomas Hegland, and the 00 Reeves is rounding out our top 5. Finished out row 3 is the number 57 of Brian Wasterman. His car lights are off, like we said. Going to be coming to pit road this time around out of turn 4. William Lark with a car length advantage right now. Coming to the restart zone. Not sure what Danny Carpenter's method is here, but let's get ready. Here we go in the restart zone. A green flag is in the air.
And yeah, Carpenter does not really get going there. It's another great jump for the car on the inside. William Lark will be well clear down into turn 1, and Corey Atkins is going to get right up alongside Carpenter as we head into this corner as well. Great chance for the 24 car to pick up some spots here right before we hit the stage. Carpenter will drop back to 4th. Carpenter to 3rd. Hegland to 4th. We've got Ronald Judd into the wall pretty hard back there. He'll drop back to 10th.
Judd hopefully can hold on here for the final 2 laps of this stage. But speaking of this stage, we got a battle for the lead up here. Corey Atkins with that target on the hood. And the inside, William Lark with Exalta on his hood, battling side by side for the lead into turns 1 and 2. Danny Carpenter right there. Oh, they're almost going to make contact into turns 1 and 2. Not sure if Atkins thought Lark was going to go lower, but the outside seems to have prevailed all night long. New leader, number 24 of Corey Atkins.
First pass for the lead we've seen under green flag racing this time, and it's not going to be hard for Danny Carpenter to follow him through for 2nd. That's going to put the 28 in position to try to steal the lead away here right before the end of this stage. And we've got Hegland in 4th, running it up on the top here, trying to move himself up into 3rd as we head down the straightaway on William Lark. We're going to take lap 30 here. Believe we're going to go around one more time, and then that will be the stage yellow side by side for 3rd between Lark and Hegland.
Bottom not working at all right now, it looks like, for Lark as he goes from the lead backwards to 5th. Trying to stop the bleeding is the 76 of Gus Ortero, trying to make a march into the picture here. Cannot do it. Coming out of turns 3 and 4, though, we're side by side for the stage lead. Atkins, Carpenter, who's going to get out of the line? And it looks like the stage win is going to go to
Corey Atkins.
Atkins, yes. Wow.
By 5/1000ths of a second.
Wow. What a battle. A clean battle to the stage break there. That was a great race there between Atkins and Carpenter to keep it clean. There's the end of stage 1. All right, as stage one has completed, our stage one winner to be Corey Atkins. As stage one is now completed here on lap 30. As the field gets caught up to the pace car, we're going to go quick commercial break side by side as these drivers get bunched up and get ready to come down for their first pit stops of the night.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to Maconi Entertainment's broadcast coverage of Door Racing League. My name is Jeremy Briggs. Alongside me is Skystrek with Christian Hill working our production booth. Excited to have everybody here tonight. As you saw under our side-by-side commercial break, as our first stage was completed, everybody on the field came down pit road. Anything in particular you saw there, Sky?
I think we saw some fuel-only stops coming from those first few cars in the field. Corey Atkins, Daniel Best, Thomas Freeman, all taking fuel-only, only spending about 5 seconds in the box. Everybody else came down for 4 tires. That could really shake up this race here once we get back green.
Either preserving a set of tires or thinking they don't need to use a set of tires here. I believe they had 4 sets of tires here tonight, not electing to use one just yet. Like we said, though, stage 1 was just completed. Pace car lights are now off. The stage break, the next stage break will be on lap 60. So 26 laps or so here from here. Take a quick look at our field. Right now, top 10 is Corey Atkins, Daniel Best, Thomas Freeman, Michael Reeves, William Larker, top 5, Thomas Hegland, Trevor Baxter, Brian Wisserman, Stephen Bird, Bradley Knopf-Snyder there is rounding out our top 10.
Yeah, and then further back in the field, we've got Gus Otero, Joshua Hyatt, Danny Carpenter, William Hewitt, Ronald Judd, all still in the race on the lead lap. Hugh Brown did a bit of a start and park. Came into the pits after running about 2 laps. James Nesta obviously out of the race after that accident, followed by the money shift up there. It's going to be going back green on lap 35 here for these cars. It'll be Atkins, Best, and Freeman up front, but none of them are on fresh rubber.
And that's definitely one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on and see how that rubber changes. Real quick track update, we were about 97 degrees before this caution, and apparently the clouds came in because the track temperature now below 90 degrees. Those drivers not deciding to take tires that time, we'll have to see how that plays out, see if it plays into their favor. 75 degrees, just air temperature though. Atkins, Best, our front row, green flag is in the air. We're back underway here with Door Racing League on Maconi Entertainment.
That inside line has gotten a great jump pretty much every time they've rolled off. Corey Adkins is already well clear up there at the front of the field. Yeah, Michael Reed's going 3 wide on that top line here, trying to make some speed on those fresher tires. He's already got Freeman. Let's see if he can get Best and Adkins here over the next couple laps.
Speaking of Best, Sky, thinking back a little bit earlier, I think he had that damage to get fixed. I'm not sure if we can see if he used a set of tires then or not, but he may actually have some fresher tires right here than we think, as he is now putting the pressure all over the back bumper of Corey Adkins. He's going to be side by side into turns 1 and 2.
Let's see, Best is going to have that run up the inside. Ooh, maybe some contact there out of the corner between those two. They stay even. This is going to open the door up there for Michael Reeves further back in the field, trying to close the gap up to these top 2 cars. We'll see what they can do down here into turn 3 and 4. It'll be Daniel Best getting clear as we enter the corner, but Adkins tries the switch back down the front straightaway.
Right now, Daniel Best, he led that lap with a power move through turns 3 and 4. Best was the runner-up throughout the beginning of this race. He had a slight issue, pushed him to the back. Trevor Baxter, surprisingly, has not marched his way back to the field like I thought he would. He's currently running 9th, our only multi-time winner yet this season.
He's got a great drive going in the early part of this race. So we'll see if he can close it back in here, get back up to the lead as we progress. You got that 10 car of William Lark staring at the side-by-side battle between Freeman and Hegland up here. Hegland is struggling a little bit on those older tires. Lark trying to push his way through on newer rubber. Not quite happening though. All the way up on the wall is that 17 car trying to make some time as we exit turn 2.
Oh, really tight. Woo. Try to get a little side draft. That top lane does carry, like we said, a lot of momentum down into 3 and 4. The 99 trying to grip and rip the bottom of 17, trying to grip and rip the top. Gets to his outside. They're going to be side by side down the straightaway. William Lark now has to try to make a decision which way to go. We still got bumper to bumper up here for the lead as Michael Reeves now moves into 2nd place with Corey Adkins at his inside. We got battles all over the place right here after this stage break.
We do. Great racing all through the field right now as Michael Reeves is going to set his sights on Daniel Best for the lead of this race. He's got fresher tires up there in that 00 car, and he's going for it. Big lunge for Stephen Bird entering that corner, looking on William Lark in the 10 car. Lark is going to prevail in this 4th position here as he battles with Freeman in the 17. As we're still side by side for 2nd here between Michael Reeves and Corey Adkins. Reeves was clear for a second there. Hasn't been able to stay clear though. The 24 has done a great job of fighting back. We'll see if he can slide up from this 00 on exit. Not quite.
Not quite able to block that power move there for the 00. Michael Reeves making the momentum work on the top. He'll now go to the bottom. And now the 24 of Adkins trying to rip that middle lane there. You see these drivers trying to avoid the seams the best they can. You don't want to be riding on those too long because there's no grip there. As you can see, the sunlight just trying to peek out there out of turn 4. We'll see how that affects the track conditions. As well as we look further on back, look at we got almost feels like 10 cars under a blanket. Even though we're battling towards the back, we're almost 4 wide.
Baxter still trying to make time through the field. Nearly a little bit of contact there with Gus Otero, and that 30 car keeps it off of him, and he keeps it down on the inside. Looking into turns 3 and 4. It's a huge lunge all the way down to that apron for the 10 car. Going to try to roll off on the inside of Hegland here, and he's able to make this move work because he does have much better rubber than that 99 car. He doesn't get the run off the corner that you would usually expect from someone off the top, and that leaves the door open for Baxter to make another big send into 1 and 2. Not been a good race right now for Hegland. He is in free fall, and he's in the fence out of the corner. That's not going to help either.
You're going to lose a ton of momentum down the backstretch. That's the worst possible time for that to happen as an exit of the turn. As we look at their Baxter in that gray and fluorescent yellow machine Toyota, all over the back bumper of the 17 of Freeman. Gets to his outside with the 57 of Westerman right there on his back bumper. You know what? I spoke earlier. I didn't see where Trevor Baxter was, but guess what? He's now in the top 5.
He's driven that car back up there so quickly in dominating fashion as well. Really done a great job to drive it through the field. Michael Reeves has maybe unexpectedly fallen out back to 4th here. William Lark has gotten around him in that 10 car. The 00 struggling a little bit, even though he does have fresher tires than these cars in front of him. Lark seems to be the fastest driver up on new rubber who started up here. Trevor Baxter also very quick back there in 5th. We're going to go 3 wide down the front straightaway for 7th, because why not? Otero, Carpenter, and Freeman are going at it back there, and we're going to stay 3 wide down into turn 1 in that battle. That one's going to be interesting to see how that shapes up.
Oh, really close there. Wow. Off the exit of 2 there before. Freeman, Bird, Hewitt, all these drivers just under a blanket. As Baxter, he is just marching to the front. I think he's going for a leader. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. He is on the move. It's probably a reason why he's won 7 times, looking for number 8. Just wow, power move to this field. I spoke earlier. I didn't know where he was. Look at him. I was like, that's fine. I'll be in the lead if you need me.
Yeah, he's driven that car up so quick. A dominating run here early on in this race for Baxter. He led so much of stage 1, didn't lead it at the end there after coming into pit road, but he will try to lead it again here to finish off stage 2, and he'll try to get his stage win for the first time in this race. He's already got this car up to 4th, should be 3rd, should be 2nd here in just a second as he's looking up the inside of William Lark and Corey Adkins up there on that top line. He's got the momentum over Lark down into the corner, and Lark is going to try to split the middle with Adkins. Nearly 3 wide there, tight racing for 2nd place.
And we're side by side for the lead. Adkins and Best once again. We got a 5-car battle here for the lead. We saw Best try to go down low to try to kill the momentum, but the top line just carries so much momentum. Oh, a little loose for Adkins. We're going to be 3 wide for 2nd down the straightaway. Adkins on the bottom. We got Baxter in the middle and Lark on the top. This is one heck of a battle for 2nd. Baxter, though, a dominating car. He's putting himself into 2nd. As Reeves goes up towards the wall, doesn't make any contact. We're side by side, though, for the lead. The momentum, though, for the top. Push for the leader. Adkins there, Baxter, still trying to make that bottom work.
Baxter feels like the only car that we've really seen make that bottom work. The top line has been so dominant in the early stages of this race, but on that new tires and with a full head of steam, Trevor Baxter has really made the lower line work to perfection here, and he's already got it moving. He's going to drop a spot there. William Lark will close down in front of him in that 10 car, but he'll stay close to the back of the 10 as he tries to look on Daniel Best for the lead. Almost contact with the outside wall there, and now that might open the door for Michael Reeves to get P2.
Baxter with a slight moment off of 2, had to get out of the gas. That opened up the door for the 00 of Reeves to put his name back in the hat for this battle for the lead. One driver though not having any issues with all of this is Daniel Best, our leader. So you guys just continue to battle for 2nd. I'll be up here in the lead.
Best has done a great job of holding this lead despite being on older tires than many of the other cars in here. A lot of those other cars who stayed out on older rubber have started to drop back through the field. You've got Hegland. Hegland's not back in 8th. He took 4 tires. It is Freeman who took no tires. He's back in 14th. Corey Adkins back in 6th. Best still holding on to the lead, but he's loose out of 4. That might be what does it. Baxter now has to run on the inside, and he'll lead across the start-finish line.
Baxter, like you said, led that lap back and into the lead where he believes he belongs. It's been very dominant all season, very loose there on the bottom of 1 and 2, though. Man, it seems like loose is fast because he just made a power move around Daniel Best. Baxter looking stout right here and just power moves himself into that lead. His Best is going to try his best to get back to that inside and side draft him back, but that top lane has been prevailing all night, and it's going to definitely do it for Baxter right here. His Best got loose, and that will open up the door for William Lark to get to the outside of Best to make that pass for P2.
Seen a couple cars get loose. Michael Reeves also very loose back there in fourth out of the corner. Going to struggle, but he will still get to the outside of Best here. He's going to try to use that high line to get himself a little bit extra speed off the corner, but he's way loose, and that is going to let Best hold that spot. Best has to get off the gas, actually. He almost hit the wall. Michael Reeves might get around him anyway down here into 3. He will big send for the 0-0.
Woo! Oh, Best was really close to that wall. This battle for second has heated up, and Baxter is just driving away. As he was earlier in the race, he was just kind of like hanging there, couldn't really get away from everybody else, but the fresh tires are just working out. Daniel Best was one of the closest competitors, like we said, did not take any tires on this stage break. As we're now on lap 52, we're coming around for 8 laps to go in this stage number 2.
And we're still side by side for P4 as we do it. We haven't talked much about Brian Wasserman tonight, but he's done a great job to bring it back up through that field. Looking for 4th right now on Daniel Best as Best rides the outside wall. He'll stay ahead of Wasserman, but for how long? Those tires have really started to go on that 5 car. He did a great job of managing them in the first half of this stage, but it's all starting to fall apart for the 5 car in the second half.
Well, to see what Best decides to do at this stage break. Obviously needs fresh tires. We'll see if he decides to make any adjustments to try to close that gap with Baxter that he needed just a little bit earlier on in the race. But right now he is definitely screaming for that to happen and trying to continue on for that battle for the lead. As you look right there, 0-0 Reeves though, all over the back bumper of Lark. As honestly, they're starting to close in a little bit to Baxter here as well. That draft really playing into it.
Gonna be 6 to go left here in the stage this time around. That 0-0 car has been kind of hanging out back here in about 2nd or 3rd for a lot of this run, but he's never really had a shot at the lead. Michael Reeves consistently on the podium, just hasn't had that speed that Trevor Baxter seems to have right now. William Lark, my bad, staying pretty steady up there in 2nd as well. That 10 car was not this good in the first stage. It's come alive here in stage 2. He is looking to hold this spot here with 6 to go left in the stage. These 3 would be your top 3, and then the battle for 4th is Best versus Wasserman. Both of them should get stage points in 4th and 5th.
Even with that win, you want to get as many stage points as you can to make sure you secure yourself in that. One thing I'm sure some of these drivers want is a stage point bonus point for the playoffs. But right now, the winningest driver of the season, Baxter, in contention to grab it once again. As we ride on board here with William Lark, who's got his nose all over the back bumper of that 0-0 now of Michael Reeves. The battle for P2 has been on pretty much all night long as Trevor Baxter now in the lead. Kind of pulling away just a touch right here again as Daniel Best trying to grip and rip that top. We got a lot of sun out of turn 4 as well. A lot down the home stretch, it looks like. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see how the track conditions change, see who that affects and see who that helps.
Lark might have used up his tires there because he really is starting to fall. I think it also doesn't help that he is running pretty low, and moment there for a lap car on the inside. I was going to say, I don't think it helps that Lark is running pretty low on the racetrack, while the fastest line, specifically for a car like Michael Reeves, seems to be the top. They will go side by side back down here into this corner, and good news for Lark, he does have that top line that he wants, and he'll get it out of the corner. That will help that 10 car get back into 2nd, and Daniel Best, whose tires we thought were gone, is going to follow him through for 3rd. Huge resurgence at the end of this run for that 5 car.
I've been watching him all the way up against the wall. It's really helping him carry a ton of momentum down the straightaways. Definitely not one of the fastest, but keeping himself in contention right now. I lied. I think he is one of the fastest, looking at the times now.
Hey, actually had the fastest lap that last time around. Daniel Best has it going. I do think he made a pit stop during stage 1 there to put some tires on the car, but he certainly did roll in on older rubber, and he's done a great job to keep it up there despite that, considering how far back some of the other cars who stayed out, like Adkins and maybe the 17 of Freeman back there, have fell. 2 to go in the stage here. Trevor Baxter pretty clear up there in the lead. The main battle is for 3rd between Best in that 5 car, Reeves in that 00 machine. Best was nearly in the fence there coming out of turn 2, and that gave Reeves a good shot up the inside of that 5 car. They're both running pretty high on the racetrack. Reeves is really squeezing Best up the road, and as Best gets in the fence, Reeves will get clear. White flag for stage 2.
William Lark, one of the fastest cars that lap. I gotta say, it's pretty impressive. You got some drivers all the way up against the wall, some in the middle, some in the bottom, and all their lap times up here in the top 3 or 4 are pretty close to each other. Obviously, we had Best getting the wall that last time by, so lost a little bit of time, but man, he was making it work. Coming around though to complete stage number 2, Trevor Baxter is our leader, and he's gonna win stage number 2.
Great drive for him there as he pulls it across the start-finish line to claim that stage win. We're going to wait until everybody else passes, and caution will come out now once your top few drivers have gotten across the start-finish line. Baxter led most of the laps in stage 1, had to kind of drive through the field in the second stage, but he got it done anyway. We'll see if he can parlay this momentum that he's got from stage 2 into a race win here in 70 laps.
As the field gets ready to catch up to the pace car and get ready to come down and get their service once again, we will take another quick commercial break and most likely try to take us to the end of the race. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, we'll be right back here on Maconi Entertainment.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back here to Maconi Entertainment's presentation of Door to Door Racing League. Hope everybody is enjoying the broadcast here tonight. We've had some great racing all throughout the field. My name is Jeremy Briggs. Alongside me is Sky Streck with Christian Hill in the production booth. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Appreciate all the drivers for being here tonight and putting on some great racing. Stage 2 just completed there. We got everybody that came down pit road once again. I believe, Sky, this time everybody decided that 4 tires was the name of the game.
Yeah, no real tire strategy being played on that last one, especially after everybody ran 30 laps on their rubber on that last stint. 4 tires is the play. We saw that on the last run, and everybody will come down for basically the same strategy. It'll be the same 2 cars on the front row, Trevor Baxter and William Lark, who finished that last stage 1 and 2, will start this stage 1 and 2. Reeves, Best, Wasserman, Adkins, the same 3rd through 6th as well. No real movement on pit road. Pretty good pit stops for everybody up front.
As the pace car lights are now off, the field will double up and get ready to go back to racing. We'll be coming around on lap number 65 of 130 laps. 2 stages complete. Baxter, one of our winners. Trying to remember who the first stage winner is. I cannot at the moment. It'll come to me.
It was Corey Adkins, I believe.
Adkins, that's who it was. I was like, I think it was a Target car. For some reason, I kept thinking Kyle Larson. I couldn't get it on my mind. So I was looking for Kyle.
I don't think he's here, unfortunately.
I kept thinking Kyle. I was the Target car. My brain just went brand.
He's racing everything else, in fairness.
I mean, he'd probably door-to-door league would be pretty good for him. I can tell you that. It's been some great racing here tonight. Last week too was my first race up here in the broadcast booth for door-to-door, and they had a great race last week at Nashville, and doing great once again. We do have to remind everybody that do have 75% fuel in these cars, so there will be one more pit stop here until we get to the end, so we'll see if that happens under green. That could be pretty tricky for these drivers if they not get any practice of that in practice, because green flag stops can be pretty chaotic. Going through turns 3 and 4 here now. Up front, Trevor Baxter, most winning driver of the season. William Lark, Michael Reeves, Daniel Best, Brian Westerman, Corey Adkins, trying to be the most winningest driver of the season. In the zone, green flag is back in the air. Trevor Baxter, leader, once again with a great restart into turn 1 and 2. We'll have to see how this battle plays out between Lark and Reeves for position number 2.
We've seen every car who's restarted on that inside line get a great jump off into turn 1. Baxter's done it a couple times now. You see it right there. He does have William Lark all over the bumper of that car, and it's a great run out of the corner for the 5 of Daniel Best. Not at all a good run for Baxter, and he is going to go from the lead to 6th in the span of 1 corner. Best, Adkins, Lark, Wasserman, Reeves, now Hegland and Knopsnyder all through on that 12 car. Trevor Baxter in free fall after a great jump on that restart.
Sky, are you seeing a parachute off the back of that Baxter machine? Because man, he just went backwards real quick. That bottom line did not work out as well as he wanted to. I think Baxter is going to go from first to worst here, if not pretty close to it. Adkins, our stage 1 winner, that I remember that it's Corey Adkins, is now our current leader with William Lark, Daniel Best, Westerman, and Reeves. Our top 5, man, we got side by side for 3rd right now.
I wonder if Baxter's pulling a little bit of tire strategy here, fuel strategy. He's saving all the way, so he has some left at the end. Go to the end of this race if we are a little close on fuel. Brian Wasserman is 3rd. He's the highest up he has been all day. He's going to try to get a run off the corner here on William Lark. Might have been able to get something going there, but Lark is in front of him to block. Best will pull in behind. He will stay steady in 3rd. He is running higher than everyone else in the top 3, though, so maybe that can get him some speed off the corner, and he can try to put a move down on William Lark in that 10 car.
Great observation there of that 57 machine, doing a great job of moving up through the field here tonight. Westerman in that 57 machine started in the 11th starting position. Now up to 3rd. Adkins, our leader, started in 12th, with Lark starting in 9th. So if you started right there on the edge of the top 10 right now, that is pretty good for you. It's Daniel Best right there in fourth, trying to pass 2 cars in 1 turn. I don't know if he's going to get 2. He might be able to get 1 though.
We'll see if he can slide up in front of Wasserman here in the 57. He's not able to, and Wasserman just has that huge run there from exiting the corner on the top. He'll get way clear of that 5 car before we make it down into turns 1 and 2. We haven't really seen the leader get away by more than a couple tenths of a second here throughout the race. The draft seems so powerful in these cars. Even though this is an open setup race, you are seeing these drivers run remarkably even right now because it is so close up here between all these guys, and the draft is so strong no one can really get away from anybody else. Wasserman still looking on Daniel Best, and he'll pull a big move down to the inside off the corner. We'll see if he can get the run down here in the 1 and 2. He's going to be pushed into the corner by Daniel Best in the 5. Wasserman will get clear. He is going to be P2. Lark fighting back on the outside. He's got the run on the top.
Awesome racing there for second place there between Lark and Wasserman. And Best really trying to put his nose in all this fighting, and they're doing a great job. And like you said, the leader's not getting too far away, especially with this being, like you said, an open setup race. Even though it's open setup, it has a fixed race feel to it. And this door-to-door racing league is really great about like just having this great racing. I thought, oh, the open setups are really going to get these drivers spread apart. But here tonight, once again, these drivers are still close together, nose to tail. You know, like you said, Baxter might be doing some type of strategy here with fuel being so close, but man, he has just not come back to the field whatsoever.
No, I think he's absolutely saving on fuel here. I'm not sure if he's off the gas pedal down the straightaway or what, but he definitely does not have the speed that some of these other cars do. Wonder if he is just in that max save mode to try to get up to the field. We're 3 wide back here. This was for 9th. It's going to get sorted out pretty quickly here because it was a great run for William Hewitt through on the top. We saw him up front at the start of this race. Struggled a little bit, got in that accident, went around. He's been trying to recover ever since then. He's got it back up to 9th. Now that 11 car finally seems to be making his way back through the field.
Coming around to 58 laps to go. Adkins, Lark, Wasserman, Best, Hegland, our top 5. Keeping an eye on everybody here throughout the field. William Hewitt, was one of those front runners, finds himself on the end of this current train of 9 cars. Everybody just kind of chillaxing, it looks like right now. I believe we're going to be side by side. Nope. It looks like Hewitt is trying to get inside of Freeman down the backtrack as we speak, and now to the inside of Lark is Wasserman.
Man, we really did not talk about Brian Wasserman much for the first 45 laps or so of this race. He started out back in 11th, was kind of driving around there in the mid-pack as well. He's done such a great job to get it up here, though. It was running second or third. He had a bad run off the corner, and with the straightaways being so long here in Michigan, one bad run off the corner can drop you multiple spots. And you saw Thomas Hegland in the 99 car challenging that 57 for 4th as they entered turn 1. He'll stay clear for now. Hegland will stay clear of that line with Knopfsnyder back there in 6th. As we're still battling for 2nd, Daniel Best continues to try to work the inside, but it's just so hard to get a run when you're on that bottom. And now Brian Wasserman is right back up to the bumper, the 5, shoving him down the straightaway.
I thought I said they were calmed down earlier. I'm going to rescind that comment and tell you that they are definitely still racing. And they are doing really great racing at that as well, as we're side by side there with Wasserman and Hegland. For 4th, Daniel Best ships it in there, trying to get not just 2nd but 1st. Can't get this 1st. See if we can slide right here into 2nd in front of Lark.
Let's see, slide job works, but Lark is going to go right back down to the bottom. Now he'll have the momentum off the corner and the faster way around. And with how long the straightaways are here, Lark is almost clear by the time he gets down to turn 1. He doesn't even need that corner there to try to make the move back. Problem is for him, Best now has that top line, and that seems to be preferred for making passes because you've got that run out of the corner. Lark holding steady there on the bottom, but I think if you're trying to make a move for position, you want to be on that top, and Best is going to get clear here as we exit turn 4.
Adkins doing a ton of defensive driving, but Best with a huge run down the straightaway is going to try and ship it here into turns 1 and 2 and make it stick and make it work. Can he clear Adkins for the lead? He can, but let's watch Adkins, and do the crossover move. Let's see if he does it. He does not. He gets a really tight off of turns 2, and that's starting to get the lead back to Daniel Best, and the pressure is now on for second as Lark looks to the inside of Adkins.
Adkins almost fenced it there, had to get way off the gas, and that's what's going to open the door for William Lark to take second place away from that 24 car. Adkins from first to third in the span of a lap, and he'll now push that 10 car down the straightaway. You don't see bump drafting at many tracks in NASCAR. Michigan is one of only about 2 or 3 where it actually ends up working for you here. You'll see it again next week as well when we go to Auto Club in this series. 2 very similar tracks back to back. And you'll see pretty similar racing style with a lot of bump drafting and a lot of close racing.
Extremely close racing. And great racing at that. We've had a lot of close calls tonight. Not too many incidents, collecting a lot of vehicles, so everybody's still running as we're side by side here for the lead between Daniel Best and William Lark. These drivers have been in the conversation all night long, and as always have some slight internet issues there for the Adkins machine. This is probably the worst possible time for that to happen. He's been pretty smooth here all night long. These 3 drivers right here, though, battling for the lead. Lark right now is our leader, trying to pull that inside car, not give the draft to the outside car where you get all the momentum. Best, though, hauling the mail down the backstretch, trying to get there. Oh, slides up the track. Can he keep the momentum, though, to stay around the outside of this Adkins machine?
Man, back and forth all race up here at the front of the field. This is a great one right now. Adkins still sitting in third. He's kind of biding his time here, waiting as these 2 continue to race hard. They're side by side again in front of him between Lark and Best at the moment. We're going to stay side by side off the corner. Best has done a pretty good job of getting runs on the inside. These straightaways are so long, he hasn't been able to make it work yet. We're going to almost door each other down here into 3 and 4, and that will let Best get away. He'll lead him out of 4.
And then Adkins trying to come over and make a move there for a second. Gets his hands full with quite the moment, trying to get there to P2. Cannot make the pass. Let's talk about Bradley Schneider real quick. Right here, just outside the top 5 in that number 87 machine. Haven't talked much about him all night, trying to put his name in the fight for the lead.
We'll see what he can do. Couple cars up here moving their way back through the field. William Hewitt up in 5th. Great run going for him at the moment as we stay steady for the lead. Lark has pulled it in behind Best, but he has not gone away at all. He's still flat on the bumper of that 10 car as we make our way down here into 1 and 2. Best is really sending it deeper into these corners, though, and that is what is keeping him ahead of Lark, even though that 10 having some better runs down the straightaway at the moment. William Hewitt also very fast. He's driven through most of the field this stint. He has it up in 5th. He's looking at Wasserman here for 4th. Problems for the 11. He might be trying to pit here. Let's see.
Like we said, not a lot of pit practice. The Southern Tier Brewing machine.
Okay, we'll bring it down the pits. Feels maybe a little early for a pit stop here, but the 11 of William Hewitt is going to be the first car to bring it down pit road on this cycle.
I think they can go 48 laps on fuel, so he might be trying to split this in half.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if they can go 48, because obviously it's a 2-mile track, a lot of time on the gas. You burn more fuel here than you do almost anywhere else. 48 laps on 75% fuel is cutting it a little close, I think. We'll see if that ends up working out for the 11 car. No one else comes down this time. I don't think we're going to see anyone else come down for quite a few laps here. Very early stop for William Hewitt as we're side by side again for the lead. Daniel Best still holding it over William Lark.
We'll have to keep an eye on that strategy there for the number 11 of William Hewitt, as Best either had to get on the gas or make contact with the wall, because I just opened the door right up there for William Lark, making it work there on the bottom, nice and easy. This is some great racing here throughout the top 5. As we just saw one driver make their green flag pit stop, like we talked earlier at the beginning of this run. They do have to pit one time in this run to the end. We've got 46 laps to go. We'll have to see who decides to make the next pit and when they decide to make that pit. We know tires weren't too much of a factor, but I do know that William Hewitt did take 4 tires that time.
Yeah, I think we're going to see 4 tire stops here on probably most of the stops heading down to the end of the race. That seems like it is a strategy right now at Michigan. See how this plays out here over the next few laps. We still got Wasserman lurking back there in 4th. We're finally starting to spread out among these top few cars, several tenths of a second separating Lark from Best, from Atkins, from Wasserman. Then you've got over a second back there to Hegland. He's getting none of that draft. He's going to be in trouble. This is back for 13th. You've got Danny Carpenter, who was running way up front earlier. Seems to be maybe on a similar saving strategy to Trevor Baxter. Gus Otero right behind him in that 30 car. He was pushing him down into the corner. Doesn't seem to be trying to make a move at present moment. We'll see if Otero can get anything done here, get himself up the field. He's the last car running who has not pit.
Even though this is the battle for basically the last car in the lead lap, look at how close they are. Woo! That was the 64 of Ronald Judd, who was sideways there into 3 and 4. Gonna lose a ton of momentum, like we said earlier on the broadcast. You just, one little slip up on these turns or on the exit, you just lose so much time because the straightaways are so long, up to 200 miles an hour sometimes, and it just, you've got to be hauling the mail. Got to be ready to go as we look here at the number 26.
Man, Larkin got pretty loose there off the corner. That's going to allow some of those cars in the backpack to get a little bit of time going back on those cars up front. We're side by side here. This was for 6th. You've got Bradley Knopfsnyder, Stephen Bird, 6th and 7th respectively. Good run for Knopfsnyder right there, holding them off. He's another driver we haven't talked much about. He's been very consistently running in the top 10 all race, and he is in the fence a little bit there off the corner.
Sorry to make a grunting noise there, but I just caught the bottom of my screen there. Corey Atkins battling there for 2nd. It was pretty much sideways out of turn 2, and these drivers, I believe this is almost one of the longest stints we've been on so far this race. 30 laps for the first 2 stages. So we're creeping in on that right now.
And hey, start playing the Jaws theme, because the fastest car on track last time around, Trevor Baxter in the 12, crossing the line that last time. Now the time we just crossed, he is 2nd fastest, but he's just barely off William Lark. That 12 car has some speed in it right now. He's going to try to drive it back up to the front. He is 9 seconds back with 42 to go, so he's going to have a lot of work to do, but he has speed. He's the fastest car going right now.
Yeah, well, one of our most dominant drivers here all season long, doing some unexpected strategy, in my opinion, just, I guess, trying to save a ton and have a ton of drive at the end of this run. You said he was 9 seconds back.
Whoa! Atkins went drifting off that corner. Best got loose as well, and I'm not sure how neither of them wrecked it.
Atkins definitely using up that right rear now. An incident could happen any second if that happens, and that could really be detrimental to William Hewitt's strategy right now.
Yeah, I don't think we're too far from seeing pit stops. I think a lot of these cars probably going to try to split this final stage in half, come down around lap 98 or so, and get it back off going well. But almost in the wall on entry there, these drivers are using every bit of the racetrack to help them turn into the corner as these tires start to go. We've crossed lap 91 here, so 31 since the last stage. This is our longest green flag run of the race, and you're starting to feel it for these drivers. They are struggling for grip. Best continues to run the top. Adkins continues to run the bottom, but this battle is in their own zip code because William Lark has put a torch to the field. 1.1 clear. He has got a lot of speed in that 10 machine.
A lot of speed, trying to make it work. Right now out front, clean air is king for William Lark. Adkins, like we said, is having a lot of right rear stability issues right now. Losing a little bit of time to our leader. Continue to watch this battle here for a second. Everybody getting kind of strung out right now. Like we said, our longest green flag run of the night right now, with pit stops, green flag pit stops looming in the near future. This is going to be a very tense moment for all these drivers.
We got our first car coming down. Thomas Freeman came on the radio, said he's pitting this time, and he is. That's our first car kind of in this main pit cycle. Hewitt came in about 10 laps ago. Very early stop. Not sure if that was a planned stop for William Hewitt with how early he came in. Freeman will be the first car to pit in what we expected the pit window to be. Have to imagine he'll put 4 tires on that 17 car. He was running around 8th or 9th at the time. We'll hope that the undercut will move him a little bit further up the running order and he can get some more points to get himself further up the field heading into the playoffs. Oh, it's a long pit stop for the 17 though. That's not going to help him at all.
That is not good, no. I don't know if he maybe had some contact with the wall and didn't realize he had some getting damage getting fixed, but the 21.5 second pit stop is not going to be good for your chances at a top 10, because that was very lengthy. It's almost double what it needs to be, if not more than double.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if I have 7 seconds of optional, I'm not fixing that. I'm going to stay out there, especially under green. You just lose so much time there. It'd be interesting to see if he thought that's going to really help the drive and get 7 seconds worth of drive out of the car here over the last 36 laps. We might see some more cars in that predicament because we've seen a couple of them in the wall. Daniel Best has hit the fence a few times tonight. It has been touch and go out here. Bradley Knopsnyder starting to fall a little bit down through the field, was running 6th, now back to 9th.
That's one of those drivers I was giving credit to. He wasn't in the picture too much. Made a good strong battle there to the front. Like you said, falling back here just a little bit. On, like we said, our longest run of the night. Gotta get these drivers all the credit. They're in pretty much uncharted territories right now. Uncharted territory right now with these tires, fuel load balance, and everything. It's been all night long. We've had a couple cautions with the stage breaks along with that. So we haven't got a full 30 laps on a set of tires and fuel. We've had a couple breaks here and there. So drivers got the works cut out for them right now. Definitely have to pit. When they pit, I guess, is going to be the option. That's going to be the question as we're eliminating at 34 laps to go.
That will be the question for sure right now. But we got 2 takers, Corey Adkins, Daniel Best, both into the pit lane. They were running 2nd and 3rd respectively, and they'll come down for green flag pit stops here right about halfway through the run. We'll see how long they take in the pit box. We'll certainly be hoping to have quick stops. And I think 2 of your leaders coming down, the cars in 2nd and 3rd, will open up the floodgates. I think we're going to see a lot of cars in over the next 2 or 3 laps.
Looks like the first 2 cars on pit road go with the 4 tire strategy. 4 tires.
Oh, William Lark, pit road speeding.
Oh, that is not good for William Lark. That is going to end his chance at a race-winning bid.
He came in way hot. He was loose coming into the pit lane. He broke the speed limit by about, I want to say, 25 miles an hour. Was 80 as he hit that yellow cone. That is going to end the day for William Lark. He's going to be about a lap down now after making that drive through. And that is huge news for those cars who just pit. Daniel Best, Corey Adkins, they're going to now be fighting for the win of the race.
I believe it might be a 40-second hold for a green flag pit stop penalty. So, like we said, uncharted territories with the car setups and these green flag pit stops, and unfortunately, William Lane was the first one to find that unfortunate event to happen with not having much experience with the green flag pit stops.
Yep, and you can see that hold 44, 45, 46 seconds in the box. That is the end of his chances to win. It's probably the end of his chances to even get a top 10 out of today. A couple more cars in. Stephen Bird brings it into the pit lane. Ronald Judd there as well. We saw Hagelin, Wasserman, Hyatt, Knopfsnyder all pit over the last few laps. 4 cars still out on the racetrack. Michael Reeves, Gus Otero, Danny Carpenter, Trevor Baxter. Michael Reeves is in now, and Michael Reeves is speeding on pit road. So that'll be his chances of winning this race done. Gus Otero gets in clean. 2 cars still out there. Trevor Baxter, Danny Carpenter, both running long.
Keep talking about it. These drivers got to be careful on these pit stops on the green, and as you can see, it's already bit 2 drivers. Reeves, one of those drivers, now getting ready to serve those penalties. We're ready to serve that penalty as we got a great battle here between these 3 drivers. Baxter is now our leader. As you look at Bird, Westerman, Hagland, and Bird all battling it right here.
Baxter into the pit lane right now, and Carpenter will follow him in. So we've got 2 cars down. Both are going to make speed pretty easily. No issues for the 12 of the 28, and this will cycle back around. 4 seconds in the lead. It'll be Corey Adkins in the 24 car, looking to get the win here tonight.
We saw Adkins had a lot of right rear stability issues towards the end of that run. We'll see if he can be smart here and keep his tires underneath him to get him through the last 30 laps of this race.
We'll see. Best is going to need to close a huge gap. It's 4.5 to Corey Adkins. Just didn't have as good of a pit stop. He spent about a second longer in the box. Spent some extra time entering the stall as well. Adkins had a much better entry, and that can really make all the difference on green flag stops. That 24 car, he's in a great position now. Barring a caution, he could be the winner of this race, because I'm not sure how Best is going to be able to close that gap.
That is a very big gap, like I said, now almost up to 5.2 seconds. Nope, not back down to 5, so a lot can still happen here for our leaders. Trevor Baxter running there in 3rd. We'll have to see how his strategy plays out. Baxter came out 3rd out of that shuffle, and he's only 1 lap on his tires, so whatever he's doing right here, it's going to work out pretty good for him, as he's been our most dominant driver all season for a reason. And right now he is 8.5 seconds back. We'll have to keep an eye on that gap as we have 28 laps to go here on Maconi Entertainment.
Battle brewing for 11th. You've got Danny Carpenter going side by side with Ronald Judd in that 64 car. We'll get that move down pretty easily here, and that'll be Danny Carpenter up into 11th position. Started 3rd this race. I think he would have liked to have a much better run than he is having, but he'll try to get as much as he can here before the end of the race. Pretty good battle going up here, both for 7th and for 8th. Gus Otero is going up the inside of Stephen Bird for P7, and no problems there. Otero gets the spot.
As the green flag pit stops are now complete, we'll go for a quick little crank it up session here and enjoy the sights and sounds of the Door to Door Racing League here on Maconi Entertainment. Welcome back from that crank it up. Hopefully I'm not too loud right now. You're more than welcome to turn the sound down, as we got great action from that crank it up session. Just awesome to hear these cars. iRacing does a great job in the sim. As we look right now, the battle for 5th position, Hegland, Westerman battling it out right here. Baxter is running in 3rd. Got the lap car of Hewitt running in 14th, 1 lap down.
Hegland's got that speed going on that inside lane there. Looking pretty good for that 50, for that 97 car. The 99 car. We got the 57, we got the 99. He is the 99. Doesn't have a number really on that car because it's a dark blue machine, but it is the 99 on our ticker, and he gotta come alive here in the back half of this race. 11th to 4th for Brian Wasserman, 13th to 5th for Thomas Hegland, and the next car back is Gus Otero, who's gone 16 to 6th. Good runs for some of these cars up here in the top 10.
A lot of good runs indeed. I can't believe we're already getting ready to come around here for 20 laps to go. These drivers are just mowing through this final stage. Checking the top speed going into turn 1 right now, 198 miles an hour there for Hegland. And they are just hauling the mail. It's pretty incredible how fast you can go at this track. Fastest track on the NASCAR circuit. It's pretty crazy to think that this is the fastest track besides Talladega and Daytona, but it is for top speed, raw speed. It was pretty incredible. Real life top speed and qualifying, like the overall speed was like 196 miles an hour. It's just, that's incredible speeds.
The cars really do go quick here. Got some battles further back. Thomas Freeman was in a fight there, but he has backed it all the way down. Problems potentially for that 17 car. And I think the 17 car is actually going to pit here. Yes, Thomas Freeman has come into the pit box. Not sure what the problem is on the 17, but that is definitely not a scheduled pit stop for him. He will fall out of the top 10 back to last in that 17 car. That'll really hurt his finish here tonight. Trevor Baxter has just gotten around best for second. Sorry.
Nope, you're fine. Great call out. Good to see that battle continuing on as Baxter, who we thought was out of the race earlier. I'm not sure what he's done to find himself in second, but he went from like 9 seconds back to second place. He's only 5 seconds back, 4.8 now. Can he catch up to Corey Adkins with just 17 laps to go next time by? Does he have the pace to get there? Right now we're already down to 4 seconds. He seems to be moving pretty quick.
That gap is melting like ice cream. He's got that thing down to 4 seconds already. It feels like it was 5 at the start of this lap. Baxter's got a lot of speed in that thing, and it was a terrible lap for Corey Adkins. He ran a 40.8. He had some problems there out of 2, went all the way onto the apron and lost so much speed, and as a result, Baxter chopped 1.7 off the gap that last time around. If he can keep going anywhere close to that quick, he's going to be a threat to win this race. He's the third fastest car, I think, on the racetrack right now. Only Gus Otero on the lead lap is any quicker. This gap is going to be 3.6 now as we come to the line this time. That's another half second cut off for Trevor Baxter. 7/10 quicker that time.
One thing I'd point out at the beginning of this run is Adkins has to be careful with that right rear off of 2. That seems to be his struggle spot, and it seemed to bite him right there. And that time, like you said, was just melting away. Oh, had such a comfortable lead. Now that puts Baxter within striking distance for these final 15 laps. He's having serious trouble.
Yeah, Baxter is closing rapidly. It's not if, it's when at this point. He gets up to the bumper of that 24 car of Corey Adkins as we hit 15 to go. 3 seconds is that gap. Trevor Baxter another 7/10 of a second quicker that last time around. He has so much speed right now. It's really not even fair between him and that 24 car. This gap's going to be another 7/10 of a second this lap, and by this rate, we're going to be 10 to go. Baxter's already going to be there.
Looks like Adkins trying to get this top middle lane to work for him right now. unfortunately, the time is just melting away. It's down to 2.5 there in the middle of 3 and 4. We'll see what the gap is here. See how it is time-wise. Baxter, yes, still faster than our leaders. Adkins, you can see him getting really loose in the entry there. That right rear is just hanging out way too much for Adkins right now.
He is absolutely struggling there in that 24 car. It wasn't as much, only 4.5 tenths of a second chopped off the lead that time, but with the gap falling this fast, it will not be long before Trevor Baxter is up and on Corey Adkins here for the lead of this race. It'll be 13 to go as we cross the line. This time, we'll see the lap time difference once again on the bottom of your screen. It'll be another 4 tenths of a second for Trevor Baxter. He's there. He'll be there within the next 5 laps.
Yeah, I mean, look at Adkins. Oh, that's got to be so heartbreaking. He's trying everything he can, but he's just losing so much speed. I'm sure he's dying for a caution just to try to get one more shot with some right side rubber. But, so close yet so far, and that car is just getting bigger and bigger in his mirror.
1.6 seconds is the gap at the line this time for those top 2 cars. Over half a second for Trevor Baxter that time around as we hit 12 to go. Adkins is also going to have to deal with some lap traffic a little further up the road from him as he stays so loose out of turn 2. That's William Lark, who had that pit road problem. Otherwise, he might be your leader of the race right now, sitting in 12th. About to get lapped by Adkins, but Adkins doesn't seem to really have the speed to lap that car. He's so loose out of these corners.
Wow.
He's just slipping and sliding every single time. It's impossible for him to get the power down on exit, and the gap to Baxter is going to be 1 second entering 1.
I honestly thought Adkins was about to spin out right there off of 4. It was that sideways from my point of view. Oh, Adkins just trying his hardest, but it's just the exits are not working out for him. That's where he's missing the most speed right now. I don't know if there's any adjustments he could have made during this last pit stop to help him on this run, but it does not seem to be working out as Adkins seems to be falling back. Baxter is now there.
Yeah, that was a lap car they're letting them by. That is Hugh Brown. 89 laps down. I think he's out on the track just to pass James Nesta for position and get an extra point in this race. That seems to be why he came back out after missing the first 90 laps of this race. Battle is still going for the lead, and Adkins way loose off the corner, and that might be what finally does it. It was 7 tenths last time for Trevor Baxter that he closed in, and this time, entering 3 and 4, there is absolutely nothing Adkins can do but get loose. As we come to 9 to go, Trevor Baxter is leading, and he will win this race, barring a yellow.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. The Adkins machine just has nothing when it comes to putting the throttle down. He's just extremely loose, just cannot get back to the gas. Yeah, you can just look at the gap, how big it gets off of 2 there. That's his biggest struggle right now. And Trevor Baxter, our most winningest driver here in Door Racing League, is our current leader after missing last week. He's gonna come back right out like he never missed a step. Back in the lead here.
Yeah,
Daniel Best. Go ahead.
This will be 8 wins in 15 races for that 12 car. So impressive.
It's almost like we should just give him the trophy now for the championship, the way he's driving that. Doing a great job throughout the season.
Man, he's doing great.
As I was saying there, Daniel Best, he's in 3rd. Not close enough to Adkins just yet. We'll have to see if he can close that gap up. Westerman and Hagland will round out our top 5.
Well, Best is struggling just as hard as Adkins is, and I think the primary reason for this is that you mentioned it earlier, the sun is out. The track temperature from the end of stage 2 to now has gone from 86 degrees to 103 degrees over the course of the last 60 laps or so. A lot of these drivers up front were running it as they would run it during that second stage. They were running it accustomed to a lower track temperature, but as the sun has come out, it has melted these tires. The track temp has gone up. It's now 104, so it's gone up 18 degrees, and these drivers have been a little caught out, and they're struggling. Trevor Baxter's played it perfectly.
Trevor Baxter knows exactly what he is doing. As you saw right there on the bottom of your screen there, it was Kinetic Gaming. Got to thank them for being one of the sponsors here for Door to Door Racing. Check out their website, kineticgaming.com.
You can kind of see it there in that bottom right. You've got the day temperature there at 79 degrees. You can see the line is only a couple degrees above that. Now it's at 104. It's gotten so much hotter over the last 60, 65 laps of this race with that sun beating down on the racetrack that it has become so hard for these drivers to keep the right rear on the car, and that is really what has let Baxter get this win. It's going to be 5 to go for that 12 car. A little bit of a battle back here for fourth. It's Wasserman in front of Hegland, and they'll fight for some points here at the end of this race.
As we look at third, Daniel Best, the last driver on our podium, still 2 seconds ahead of fourth. Looks like he'll be able to hold that off. As we look at their Westerman and Hagland right here battling it for the top 5 position. Oh, almost made contact there with their doors. They call it Door to Door Racing League for a reason. This is the second week in a row I've seen them leaning on each other, but surprisingly nobody wrecking. And that's one thing these drivers definitely need to take a lot of credit for. A, having really good internet signals, and B, not having tempers get too hot underneath those driving sim rigs, because it can happen a lot. And there's a lot of door-to-door action, side-by-side action, and everybody does a great job of trying to keep it as clean as possible, but get as tight as they can and have a good time. And they continue to do that here again through 3 and 4. Woo! Westerman giving all the pressure to the right side of that Hagland machine. Now 3 laps to go for a leader, Trevor Baxter.
And he's gone. He's 1.7 out in front of Adkins in that 24 car. My bad, I can't read. He's 3.5 seconds out in front of Adkins in that 24 car. I thought 1.5 was impressive. 3.5, now 4 is something else entirely. Wasserman has held this 4th position pretty well. Hegland doing a great job there of trying to stay in this battle and get himself up to 4th here at the end. Everybody else's lap times have gone over 40 seconds, 2+ seconds of fall off from the start of this race because of how much this track temp has gone up. Hegland will get the switchback going down here at a 4 as we come to the line for 2 to go for these cars. Hegland has the speed on the bottom. We'll see if he can get clear of Wasserman down here into 1.
As these drivers battle really tight through 1 and 2. One driver, though, is just hoping for a green rest of this lap. Coming through turns 3 and 4 right now is the number 12 of Trevor Baxter, the winningest driver this season in Door to Door Racing League. Right now, Barney the flagman has got the white flag in his hand, waving it here at Michigan. 129 laps down, 1 more to go here for Trevor Baxter. As Adkins and Best, your top 3, Hagland and Westerman still your top 5. 7 wins this season, trying to grab win number 8. What can the rest of the league do right now to grab a win over Baxter besides when he's not here? He started towards the midfield, went towards the back, came all the way up to the front at the end of this run. 130 laps are in the books, and coming through to check the checkered flag tonight is going to be Trevor Baxter here for Door to Door Racing League.
And it's a great win for him. Played it so well on tire strategy. Just did an amazing job of managing what he had, way better than anyone else in the field. And that's what got him a 5-second win over Corey Adkins.
Patience was the name of the game. He was at 12th before they came down for pit stops, came out in 3rd. I don't know what he knows, but man, he definitely had that in the back of his book as the rest of the field came around and take the checkered flag. Trevor Baxter will now come to the front stretch and have, I think he was going to celebrate, but unfortunately the grass is a little slippery and kept going towards that inside wall there. But once again, Trevor Baxter is our winner. We'll let him burn it down for a little bit here. We'll take a quick commercial break, come back with our results, and then we'll grab a quick word with our 3 podium finishers.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back here to Maconi Entertainment, bringing you Door Racing League. Man, what a great night of racing here tonight. As always, last week was my first week in the booth, and I did not disappoint and came back tonight with some great racing here at Michigan. Trevor Baxter came out as our winner. Did some different strategy to make it interesting and still came out on top. My name is Jared Briggs. Alongside of me here is Sky Shrek with Christian Hill in the production booth as we get ready here to take a look at our results. Like we said, Trevor Baxter was our winner. Finishing second, you've got Corey Adkins. And in third, you've got Daniel Best. Fourth belongs to Thomas Hegland. Fifth, Brian Westerman. Sixth goes to Gus Otero, who was pretty much mid to back towards the field there and comes home in 6th place, so a good run for Gus there. Joshua Hyatt comes home in 7th. Stephen Bird finds himself in the 8th position. 9th belongs to Bradley Knopfsnyder. 10th belongs to Danny Carpenter. Ronald Judd comes home in 11th. William Lark is 12th. 13th goes to Michael Reeves, 14th. William Hewitt, 15th. Thomas Freeman, 16th belongs to Hugh Brown, and 17th goes to James Nesta. As we have a couple drivers in the waiting room now, guess without further ado, we will grab the winner of the race of Trevor Baxter. Trevor,
This is now your 8th win in the league out of these 16 races, or 15 races, excuse me. You just seem to have the formula just right. Man, walk me through your strategy tonight, because I saw you drop towards the back and you still end up coming here out in first place.
Yeah, we're just riding around the first couple stages, trying to get to stage 3 and get it going. I thought we were going to be short on fuel. I'm not really sure if we would have been running 4th and 5th, switching like we were, but decided to save, and then I realized we might not be as short as I thought, so I started pushing, try to get back in the top 10. I was able to get back in the top 10, take 4 tires, 5 or 6 laps after those guys, and then just try to run them down, and worked out.
It definitely worked out there for you, Trevor, man. Another great night for you. 8 wins on the season. You definitely got the formula going for you. Who do you got to thank for getting here each and every week?
Yeah, we've missed the last couple of races. We hadn't been around in a while. I think we missed 3 or 4. I'm not sure exactly the number, but definitely shout out Ryco Motorsports, Ken Byron out there. He puts those setups together with him and his house drivers. They do a lot of testing. They do a lot of racing. A lot of time on the track with those guys, so shout out to them for sure. And then door-to-door racing. Good series, fun to race with, a lot of good guys. That's pretty much it, man. Shout out to y'all for doing the broadcast. We appreciate everything y'all did. Thank you.
Good stuff, Trevor. Thank you so much for being a part of tonight's race. Hopefully, we'll talk to you in the near future.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
You as well. And that was Trevor Baxter, our first place finisher, grabbing his 8th win of the season. Without further ado, though, we'll grab Corey Adkins, our second place finisher. Corey, welcome to the broadcast booth. Man, second place, so close, yet so far. It looked like you were just struggling with some right rear grip.
Yeah, I just put in a bad adjustment. I hadn't really logged any laps here this whole week, and I think this was the first time I had been on the track. So I mean, I was just out there trying to figure it out as I went.
Well, you definitely almost figured it out. You were running up in the top 5 for quite a few laps here tonight. You come home in second. You were able to lead 39 laps. What is that like for you for the rest of the season, having that good of a performance here tonight?
Pretty much you just got to beat Trevor. That's pretty much the only thing you got to do looking forward. But yeah.
Good stuff, Corey. Well, we appreciate your time here in the booth. Who do you got to thank for getting here tonight?
Appreciate y'all for the broadcast, and appreciate Door to Door for having me every week. And that's what I got, my teammate.
Good stuff, Corey. We appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll talk to you in the near future.
So appreciate y'all.
That was Corey Adkins, our second place finisher. And I believe Sky Shrek will have our third place finisher of Daniel Best.
Hey, Daniel, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Pretty good. It was a fun race tonight. Tell me how you managed those tires there at the end.
I had to just ride around in 5th gear. I was worried about fuel. I pitted about a lap too soon, and I just had to ride. And when I come out of turn 4, I ran out of fuel. So if I would have pushed it, I would have not made it to the end. So
tell me about some of those battles you had earlier in the race. Stages 1 and 2 were some pretty tight racing. How'd you manage that?
Man, I just burning my tires off. I should have laid back like old Trevor there, but I'm just not good with that. I'm one that's got to be up front. If I've got the car to run up front, I want to be up front.
All right. Anyone you want to thank tonight?
Man, just Door Racing League. We're trying to get this thing built up and doing everything we can. So just all the guys over there at Door to Door.
All right. Well, congrats on third place tonight, Daniel Best.
Appreciate it. Have a good night.
What a great night of racing here once again on Maconi Entertainment of the Door to Door Racing League. Any final thoughts here, Sky Shrek, before we cut this out? This was some great racing here tonight.
Man, that race was really good. It had a ton of great battles all through the front, all through the mid-pack. I think we had a pretty good race tonight. I'm excited for Auto Club next week. Should be pretty similar.
Yes, Auto Club is next week as Mexico City is not on the iRacing service, so the group voted to go to Auto Club. And like you said, it is a lot like here, so this should lead to some great racing once again. Door to Door Racing League, living up to the name. If you haven't yet, come check them out on Discord. These first two broadcasts that I've done, I've seen some great racing, great clean racing, with drivers being respectful and having a good time on the Sunday evenings. And once again, hopefully you can join us next week here on Maconi Entertainment, June 15th at 8 p.m. My name is Jeremy Briggs. I got to work alongside Sky Shrek here tonight with Christian Hill up in our production booth. Got to thank everybody at Maconi Entertainment for everything they do each and every week, and everybody at Door to Door Racing League for letting us put this on. We got to thank everybody that tuned in tonight on all of our socials. And hopefully we'll see you guys in the near future. And my name is Jeremy Briggs. Everybody, have a great night.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.